Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a special game for you all that I've been given a code for and I've really enjoyed. This is Wartales. This is the newest game from Shiro Games, who are responsible for Evil Land 1 and 2, the uh, retro RPG journey tribute games, and Northgard, the real-time strategy Viking simulation game that I really enjoyed and have covered on the channel before. And I was lucky enough to be given a code for Wartales to give it a look, and that is what I'm here to talk to you about today. Wartales is kind of a cross between Battle Brothers and Mountain Blade. If you have played either of those games, this is an open world RPG. You have a band of mercenaries that you're basically going around with, completing quests and all that, but we'll see when we get into the game. I'm just going to give my impressions and some things that I'd like to see them improve, as it just came out in early access. I believe December 1st was when this game came out in early access, and it's an early access game. There are things that definitely should be changed. If we want to talk about the very first thing I noticed with this menu is the tiny font on here and the tiny option menus, and this is a persistent problem throughout the entire game. You cannot change the size of the font. It is very difficult, I assume, for people who have any sight issues, close sight issues. So that is the very first thing that I think they need to change and do better with. So we're going to start a new game here. I'm also going to show off some of the later stuff that I've gotten to in the save that I've been playing, but there are also some differences from the demo. If you tried out the demo already, there's a decent amount that's changed. So first thing you've got here is the choice of your destiny, as it were. Your companions are apprentice friends looking for an adventure, men escorting merchants who lost their employer, deserters fleeing an abusive captain, young farmers looking for a better life, and bandits looking to escape the guard. Each one of these will have an impact on how things are starting out. So this one, you get more influence, but you have less experience. And then we've got the merchant one. You have less medicine, but you have more money. This is the one I go for most of the time. The money is so useful starting out. Deserters, you have more experience, but you have more suspicions. So when you are encountering guards in the lands, you want to stay away from them a little more. They're more likely to attack you or suspect you. Young farmers, you have more bread. You need to keep your people fed over all this time, but you have less starting money. And then bandits, you have more money, not as much as the merchants, but definitely more than any of the others, but a lot more suspicion. So you gotta be careful there. Now, as I said, I usually go for the men escorting merchants who lost their employer. I'll probably go for one of the other ones to start this, because I'll be showing you my save where I went with that one later on. I haven't really dealt with suspicion much, so I'm gonna go with deserters fleeing and abusive captain. And then we've got our companions are used to long walks, reduces fatigue. Cunning fighters, increased experience. Their resilience, constitution increased. Critical damage increased, or know how to talk to new recruits. Recruitment. I'm gonna go with cunning fighters. I feel like we're going to need to fight a fair amount. And then you've got the flaw, and all of this is really just varying up things for the start here. Decrease the carrying capacity, reduce the happiness, uncommon bout of bad luck, we don't get many crits, danger during rest increases by 10%. So I'm going to choose a very relative sense of loyalty. And then we've got the starting region. At the moment, there's only one starting region. I'm assuming that will change as things go on. And then we've got the difficulty. It's just easy, normal, hard. I play on normal. Same for the simulation, combat and simulation, same thing. So we'll start. We've got the art here. I do think the art could be a little more colorful, a little more expressive, but it's nice enough. It evokes the sense of the medieval world pretty well, and the character portraits have some character to them, which is good. But this is going to be loading, and it's loading the entire world, so it takes some time to load up. I do think it's different depending on how fast your computer is, though. And so we've got a bunch of stats up here. I'm going to pause so I can go over them. Up in the upper left corner here, we've got the number of companions. We're starting off with 5. And that's 4 humans and 1 pony. That's what they mean. A pony counts as a companion here. And that's good to know because combat encounters scale by the amount of companions you have. So don't just get a bunch of ponies because they can't fight, and you're going to be fighting more enemies as a result of that. We'll see if that's balanced out in later patches. So this is where we start in there. And you see these shiny things? These are items you can pick up and put in your inventory. So you see our inventory, we've got bread, we've got apples, we've got medicine, and we've got people attacking us here. So, and raw materials to repair stuff, and then the comfrey that I just picked up, which can be used for medicine. So here we're going to get into a fight. Now, fights in this are turn-based combat, and it's interspersed turns, so it's not just all your team and then all their team. It's determined, I'm not entirely sure the exact determination of when you go, because so it's not necessarily, so you see where on the bottom turn bar, you see where each one of the enemies is going to act. But these ones are just whichever unit you want to use. So I can choose Luinor, Bjorthwin, Oe, and Philin. I can choose any of them to use to move on this one. And I'm gonna choose Philin to move over here. And we see he's got a slice and a taunt. I'm not gonna use the taunt, I'm just gonna use the slice, and this engages the hoodlum in combat. So we are now engaged in combat. If either one of us wants to disengage, we can to go and attack someone else, but it's an attack of opportunity there. And as things move on, you're going to have more chances of experience, of abilities there. And we've got Pound here. So this damage increased if the target still has armor. The Poacher does still have armor, so it double damage there. Now it's their turn. See, goes back, gets the poison attack on there. There we go. So I'm going to use Stab here to do there, and I'm behind them, so yeah, this should get the ambush one. Does 8 damage here. That's better. And then I've got my archer here. And now I like how they do archery in this, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. So I've got a chance to shoot here, but I'm actually in a position where I'm possibly going to shoot my own person as I'm doing this. You can see the chances there. 23% chance of hitting my friend, 77% chance of hitting the poacher, and in this case, I get the poacher. But it really, angles matter. Angles matter in all aspects of combat here. And he does 1 damage. That was basically nothing. And that's because a ranged unit being asked to do melee. Now I'm going to ambush this one. Get some damage on you. End turn. And I also like that. That's a good quality of life feature. So if you click off someone whose turn you started but didn't end, you can actually end their turn from that anyway. So if I click over to Bjorthwin, I've got the option to return to the active companion or even end that companion's turn from this screen. I can look at the abilities that they have for that. And I get delta damage for the poison. Now we're down 0 armor left. I'm going to bring myself over here. I want to increase the chances that I'm actually going to hit. That didn't do as much damage as I was hoping, but that's just how it goes. And now that his armor's back, he's going to deal less damage. But we're in good shape. This opening fight is really about the tutorial, although they don't really give any tutorial there. This is just what you see is what you get. And Luinor, I like him. I like his abilities here. And we'll use Fill-In to finish off the hoodlum. And everyone's galvanized now. Damage increased by 50%. Turn there. Does a little damage, but not much. And let's finish off this battle with an animation. Nicely done. Pretty simple. And then at the end, you've got the XP you get, the influence, that's what it is. Influence instead of renown, and that's valor points. Crowns is the money, suspicion. Each region has its own scenario, follow the progress there, and knowledge. That's the one there. So, loot, that money, and then we've got some level ups here. So, we're going to start with Luinor here, the ranger one, and each level here you can get either new abilities. That's what we've got on the level 3 one. That's not what we're at yet. Or you get these kind of... This menu is specialization. And I've got some options here. Valorous Audacity. Every turn this unit ends their turn next to an enemy and is not engaged in combat, you gain 1 Valor point. I don't think that's going to be useful. Every time this unit kills an enemy, you gain 1 Valor point. That sounds good. Every time this unit ends their turn next to an ally is not... I feel like... Okay, next to an enemy and next to an ally. That's what they made. Well, I'm still going for the Valorous Victory. And then we've got the attributes here. So, we've got the pluses here, which is only 1 each. But if we do this one, we get 2 points if we upgrade movement. So each level, there's going to be ones where you get... Or there's an option to do 1, 2, or 1. And we can see that Owick... it's Owick, not Owie. Also has the +2 on movement. You know what? I'm good with that. I like my archers to be somewhat mobile. Ends their turn next to an enemy and is not engaged. Kills or Valor Support. It's the same deal there. And in this case, I'm going to say ends their turn next to an ally and is not engaged in combat. Because archers are basically never engaged in combat. You don't want them to be engaged in combat. It severely reduces what they can do. And then we've got the repairs. If we want to get the damaged armor back, we can repair those. I'm going to do that. And there's also corpses in case you have to resort to cannibalism, which is not fun. Not fun for anyone. And so there are locations in here. Another thing that I hope they address is pathing issues, because when you click on a place in the map, your people are going to go straight there, regardless of what objects are in the way. So I got some cloth there. Then we got the plateau stable. And we can talk to these people. We can inspect barrel. We could try and steal stuff. It would, make people angry. And she's asking us to take the horses, but we'd have to pay for the horses. And in fact, the amount to buy them is 180 gold. So we simply don't have that. We can't get it. And now we've got iron ore and cloth. We can actually start looking at crafting stuff. But in order to do that, we need to find the actual tools to do... Not the tools, the workstation. Do it. So we got the comfrey there, and now we've got the town. Now this is a big, important place for us. There's a lot of different places in the town. We've got the forge. When we go into the forge, we can talk to them. This person, we can buy raw materials to repair our weapons. That's always good. if he can also repair them himself if we don't have the tools. But then we've got Forge, and this is what we've got, the new professions. So you have various different professions. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 professions. Each one gives a bonus to different stats that you have, so you need to keep in mind what they are. And so, not sure with who there. I want someone who's going to benefit from that additional strength, and pretty much everyone's at the same amount of strength. So I'm gonna give it to Philin. You're gonna be our blacksmith. Then we confirm, and you can create new things. Now I don't have the materials, leather or wood, enough of those to make anything, but once I do, I can come back and get those. And we got the town hall. We can talk to the lady mayor. And there's not much there at the moment. The Three Hares Market. This is the place we go to get food. Got apples, grapes, mushrooms, salt to get. We've also got meat here. We've got mutton, cured meat, chicken, and salt. And you see the ones in green are price temporarily reduced. So you can always buy that and then use it, or you could buy it and just sell it somewhere else, make a profit. And he's got some materials here: leather, sandstone, wood, woolen cloth, pottery. Got some options there. And then there are other people. These ones these are refugees, and we have choices regarding them. For a few crowns can polish your armor. He's so hungry. You can accept, pay him 10 gold, or leave. And I don't know if this turns out the same each time. I'm gonna accept to see if it does. Okay. Well spent. And yes, Renart stole 20 gold and took off. That's exactly what happened last time. So be careful of Renart. Then we got Alchemist. That's another profession here. And the Alchemist gives +1 dexterity. And they can make medicine and other things, including stuff you can throw. Like, I don't know if grenades specifically are in there, but something like that. Then we've got the inn. So we can talk to the innkeeper, get some food. This apple pancake, honestly, it looks pretty good to me. We've also got brandy. Alcohol helps troops' happiness. So if you want to keep your troop happy, give them alcohol. You can also rest to heal up. And we've got the Emissary here. And this is an important one to go for, because you can then review the various contracts here. You can review up to 3 of them. And they'll say the difficulty here. We've got 2 easy ones. Amateur Hunter one, and Vanquish Lauram's squad. I'm gonna go with Lauram's squad here, and then it comes up on the map to show you where you need to go. And then we've got some other ones here. These are people you can recruit. Now, we don't have the influence to recruit them, but we can look at them and see what they've got. So Alfault has volunteer, wages reduced by half. That's very important. Has got some here there, has slash, taunt. Okay. It's something to keep in mind for when we go by. And then we've got Grimace, who's strong, strength increased by 5%. Got Impale and Run. Got a Farmer's Pitchfork. Important thing. And then we got the Informant. And the Informant can give tips and points on missions here. So these are bought with influence. We've got the wife of a man condemned to the gallows is desperately seeking help. Bunch of different stuff there. But you've got options on how you're going to tackle each one of the problems here. And now at the top of the screen, we've got the county we're in, the general direction, We're facing the day, the hour, and then your troop fatigue. And when your fatigue gets low, you need to camp out, and that's down here. And we'll see that once we actually get to the point where we need to camp out. And so we're walking down. I know they're in this direction. Gonna hit map. We still have a little ways to go. We're probably gonna need to camp out before we actually get to them. And each one of these icons have various groups, and these are some drunk soldiers, which is fun. We can either give them wine to distract them, but we don't have wine to give them, or we're going to have to attack them. And now these are level 2 soldiers. This battle might be a little difficult. And welcome back into the battle here. I know that things are going to sound different now. That is because the audio on the recording cut out after we entered this battle. So I skipped through a little bit of this battle here. It wasn't an easy one, but we're down to just the final one here, and we've got Luinor, of course, who's been so good for us in there, gets the backstab in, and we're going to be able to finish him off with Owick coming around the side and getting the kill. Very important. But if you saw, we had some people at low health, low armor, and it's showing there. We can repair all, we can heal all. We're going to heal up, I believe, here. Yeah, I'm recording after the fact, so I know what happens now. And Philin got a level up, so we now have a choice. And this choice here, we're going to up the Constitution first. And then the choice over here, we've got options that give us specific abilities, but also enable Philin to use different equipment. So using heavy armor or medium armor. And then the other abilities, Laceration, Destabilization Strike, and Encouragement. I'm going to pick Destabilizing Strike here. We're going to repair stuff first because we're on a mission. And then the Dobbs looking to sell. Training Buckler, we're going to use that to give someone else at this point and just make them stronger. I don't think we give it to Vjorthwin. I believe we give it to Philin. Or do I give it? No, I give it to Philin. Yeah. Gotta make him stronger. That's how it goes. And so we're gonna keep going down here, but we're getting very close to needing to camp out, and that's what that symbol is above the head. It's a little unclear to see. I wish that was a little bit clearer. Just in general, the UI needs to be clearer. But we're gonna get to the campfire, and we've got to create a meal, one that suffices for everyone, at least 6 there. So we're gonna put in 2 bread and 2 apples, and we will be all good. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what putting in extra food does, but maybe it helps. It's unclear. And we've got no wages to pay at the moment, so we're just going to rest up, get the bar back, goes through day and night, and we get some valor points, or action points as they describe them here. That's another thing I've noticed. They don't have a consistency of terms as much there. And our progress has gotten to the point where we've got a knowledge point. Now we can use these in these various menus to learn abilities or to learn new recipes for things to create. So we've got weapons in the blacksmith one, and then just general abilities going around this tree, including cannibalism, if we are ever unsure about how much food we're going to have. Haven't actually gone that route. Don't know what it does. And so I'm looking through all of the ones here, and I believe I end up choosing for money. Yep. Gotta get that money. Money is very useful in this game. And then we've got the mill, another location here. I can take a look around, and dead people. Lots of dead people. And that's unfortunate, but, you know, gotta loot now. but we do have one who's still alive. So hello, Hackert. And now we've got an option to heal or finish. So finish will give us some money. Heal requires medicine. But I'm thinking, yeah, I look at Hackert on his stats and all the stuff he's got here, and we are going to go back and heal him because I think there's a chance we can recruit him, and in fact, that is exactly what we can do. So we have recruited Hackert to our party just in advance of taking on a rebel band or bandit band, however, whatever you call them. And there's what I believe is an elite level enemy just out of that range there, the one in the red. That's not one we want to take on. And here we are in battle. We've got Hackert with us, so we're up to 5 against 2. But these two are a little stronger than the ones we have been facing. So I'm going to change up the formations a little bit, move Luinor to try and get in a better spot to take them down. Now the first thing we're going to be doing is engaging these two in combat, because I want them facing our strongest melee units with the best armor, because it leaves Hackert, Luinor, and Oic free to do some damage from behind. So we're gonna bring over Hackert and get a good damage roll there. Nice crit. However, we are low on armor, so that's something we're going to need to factor in as we continue in this battle. Luinor can't quite get the armor down fully. So we bring over Oic, and that angle is still going to have a chance of hitting friend, but thankfully we hit foe. And we do get a temporary valor point. And we're going to use that for poisoned impact. However, this wasn't the smartest idea, because if you use that for poisoned impact when their armor is still up, it does nothing. It doesn't poison them. And that's one of the major reasons to have that. But we've taken down the armor fully now. It's a good start. And Oic brings it down even more. But that's a big damage roll there. That's 11 damage. That's not ideal. We're going to use the destabilizing strike. So we get 2 attacks in this with the slice as well. And that brings Luinor in. Never mind, not Luinor in. We're going to take out the big one first. And did do damage. The text box is kind of in the way there. We did do the attack. And again, we're getting close. Our 2 main frontline fighters are gonna be struggling a little bit. But we're gonna move Hackert out of the way so it can get Luinor behind to finish him off. Nicely done, and that is the job done. We could technically run away and finish the job, but I mean, there's no reason not to kill this one. We get experience from it. That's important in a game like this. Gotta make sure our troop is well prepared. And we have done it. And that is a job done. We've got a level up for Hackert. We got some gold. And Hackert is also going to get the Valorous Victory that I gave to Luinor. And we'll up the Dexterity as well. And we're not going to repair or heal any right now. But now we have money. And if you see in the top right corner, we've got our money total and then a number underneath that. And that's the amount of money we have waiting for us for completed jobs. But between now and then, we're going to need to rest because our fatigue is getting on the lower side, trying to get as far as possible. And what I just highlighted there, on the bottom right, most of those have keyboard shortcuts for them. Camping, that's C, inventory is I, all that stuff. And now this one, this is paths, has Z next to it in there. However, when you hit Z, it doesn't open it. The key that actually opens the paths menu is W. And now there are different paths here that give you titles, and you can level them up to get more missions and stuff like that. Trade and wealth, that's pretty self-explanatory. Power and might, you're going to get that from just combat. And then the other two, there was, I think, like a knowledge one and then a crime one. So it depends on what path you go down, what options you get there. But here we are back at the inn, and we can report the job in to get our pay, or collect bounty, as it were. And yeah, I'm highlighting that information is contained in the corner there. And it takes some time for things to refresh if you want more jobs. But that's it for that save. I now want to go over to the other save that I've been using and show off some of the things there. It's not going to be too different, but there's some information there that I think is helpful for getting a picture of how things look a few more hours into the game, beyond just the opening 30 minutes or so. And here we are. Again, looks pretty similar. Got a bunch of stuff in the inventory, stuff to sell, stuff for crafting, things I've gotten from quests, that sort of thing. And we are right near the same town that I left off with. We've got the paths here. You can see I've gotten to level 2 in trade and wealth, opened up the ability to negotiate on the missions, which is an important part. And then we're going to look in at the bounties. It's the same sort of menu. Got a bunch of hard ones and average ones, no easy ones at this point. And you see that this is the scenario there. You can see a couple of the things that I've done already, build it up to 100, and you're looking at completing the scenario. That is the main mission in there, but it doesn't force you to do that. You can, do whatever you want. But the information that the informant gives you generally is stuff that helps with that main scenario. So you can see that I'm down to 2 here. I didn't purchase anything. It's just ones that I encountered while I was exploring around. And you can see my troop here. I've got Voltric. He's got the trait Tyrannical. I've got Lorraine. Some of these names are not the easiest to pronounce. There's Hadric. Hadric actually only barely survived a battle before this. He was at 1 health. 0 armor, 1 health. Sarlet has kind of been our leader. Love that damage with people around. Very much helps. And Boric is the one that I've recruited. I like having the archer. I like having that range. And of course the pony to carry all the stuff. And here's a look at the world map. Done a little exploring around. Each location has, if there's stuff that's completed, it's checked off. If there's stuff still to be done, it's got the exclamation point. Some good visual indicators of what there is still to do. And different locales to find and quests to do, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is Wartales, and I really have been enjoying this game. It is early access. It is got a lot that still needs to be done. I think that the UI in general needs to be scaled up at the very least, or at least it needs to be scaled up, or you need to have the option to scale it up if you want. Rotating the camera is something that I'd really like, and some just general things that are contradictory, like the action points, valor points, or the paths opening with W instead of Z. All that stuff needs to be looked at, but for what the game is now, I'm really enjoying it, and I think that if it is of interest to you, it's something you should give a try. The price is a little steep, I'd say, for it in its current state. It's $40 US, and there's a lot that still needs to be added for that price to make the most sense. But I think there is a solid game here that is worth your time, and I hope this video gave you a better look at the game and my thoughts on it. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment below your thoughts if you've already picked up Wartales or if you're interested in doing so, and subscribe to keep up with the channel. I hope to see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and happy gaming.